Alright, good morning ladies and gentlemen. Last night we received this week's Dead Matter information drop, and though at first glance it didn't look like it was quite as much content as last week's, there was actually still quite a lot of interesting information released. So we start off with another message from the devs saying, "Hey survivors, continuing our promise to post weekly updates leading up to the closed alpha, we would again like to thank our backers and the community at large for all of the support and feedback across all platforms. We appreciate everything you all do and your patience with us while we work toward getting the closed alpha delivered. This is a quick reminder that anything shown on this blog and on the vlogs is a work in progress." Closed alpha. We are still working to clear the issues that are stalling the release of the closed alpha. However, we are using the time to the best of our ability to polish features and assets. We're working tirelessly to get these issues cleared up, and we're eager to get the alpha delivered so we can start collecting and smashing bugs found by the community. Okay, so the actual content of the development post starts now. Development. Kyle has been working on vehicle optimizations, getting clocks working based on the in-game time, working gas pumps, working with the necessary menus so players can fill containers from the pumps, a variety of vehicle colors, and getting the electricity system up and running again. Alright, so we move into the first video they provided here, and it's just a short clip showing that they are syncing the in-game clocks with the in-game time of day. The days just so happen to be 5 times faster than real days, and I confirmed that last night with the devs again. So that would be an hour every 12 or so real life minutes, and a day every 4.8 real life hours, and so on. So next we move over to a video showcasing the system for turning the power on and off for the buildings in Dead Matter. It's another short clip. This one shows the functionality of the power system and how the flow of power can be turned on outside through these green power boxes like the one you see in the video, and then using the light switches inside the building to turn the lights on and off. You see the toggle prompts on the screen, so you can just interact with these switches with the press of a button. Below the video they say, turning the power off for most buildings, especially player-claimed buildings, will not be this simple. This video is only showcasing the functionality. So to be honest, I'm glad they put that little disclaimer there, because it looked a little bit too easy to me. I wouldn't want it to be tedious or anything, but I feel that turning the power on and off would need to be something that makes you feel as though you at least had to work for it to a degree. They then go on to actually show the fire alarm being used, which actually made me consider some possibilities that I hadn't really thought of before. So, for example, if you're moving around the world and you happen to get pinned down by a group of players, or you see another group of people outside that you don't want to challenge for whatever reason, maybe they have guns you just can't compete with at this time, or armor or whatever, it will be interesting to test whether you can retreat into a building and use the fire alarm to draw zombies into the area, and then just hold your corners and wait it out. Obviously, that scenario would depend on several factors working together a very certain way, but it's the very essence of what tactics is, and it would be really awesome to see a situation similar to that in execution. So that's something I'm writing down as a must test with my community. They also put in a picture of some of the new vehicle assets they've been working on, which are looking pretty damn good. Now we move into the videos they provided us on the campfire crafting and maintenance systems that they say Kyle and Riz have been working on. The first video simply shows us how to craft planks from a wooden log. Again, the player interacts by pressing F. This time it's a hold instead of a toggle, and in this case they use a saw in their inventory to complete the process of crafting the planks, which then do a little animation where they pop up into the air and spin at the player's feet. So pretty cool stuff. Next, they give us a clip that shows inside of the inventory where they use a single stick and a leaf to create a campfire kit. Not much else to say there, pretty self-explanatory. So what we can do is get into the sizes of these items. The leaves are a 2x2 individually, and the sticks are a 5x2, leading into the Campfire kit being a 6x4 sized item. It seems that the total bag space in this specific instance is a 12x16. They're using a duffel bag, and obviously at some point there's going to be several different backpacks available. And if you take a look at the other clothing items, they also provide some space. So you can't really determine right now what the exact inventory space available is going to be, but you can have a general idea. Okay, so finally, we get to the good part. We get to see these sick freaking bonfires they put in the game. And yes, they're bonfires from Dark Souls. The devs confirmed last night. I asked, you heard it from me first. Bonfire lit. It's going to be in the game. In all seriousness though, there's a good bit of information to talk about here. So the first thing I really want to point out when it first shows this unlit bonfire is that it says it needs 8 sticks and 10 stones. And then it also shows an option to add ingredients, which my guess would be to create provisionals, food and such. So they light the fire, which then gives a prompt to press F to add firewood to the fire, or hold F to check the strength of the fire. So again, pretty straightforward. I like it. Then they back up from the fire and look up. I do have to point out the frame drops. We shouldn't expect any different at this stage though. We are about to enter the very beginning of the alpha stage. The animations though for adding wood to the fire look pretty cool, and the overall look of the campfire is really aesthetically pleasing. I would say it's definitely above par graphically, and I like the functionality we've seen so far. I can just imagine patrolling through the woods and seeing a campfire in the distance, casting embers and light on the forest around, and moving in with my group to attack the group that has the fire. It's just, it sets up a environment to just be great for creating memories and content. So they show us one last campfire clip, and it's a time lapse of the fire burning out, and it's actually pretty cool how it's a process and not just an, oh, the time's up, do a quick little animation, and then it's gone. Again, I like it. I'm impressed with the amount of effort they're putting into the little details of the world, especially this early on in development. Alright, so finally, they go a different route and they show a picture of a go-kart track for some reason and say, Nomad has been working on getting a go-kart track added to the world and given the carts an art pass. We'll show them in action in another post. This was something we had shown very early in development and are excited to have back in the world. We hope players will find a bit of levity with these before the infected maul them to death. So, to be honest, I'm not really sure why they thought it would be a good idea to put something like a go-kart track, you know, something kind of stupid and irrelevant to the entire point of the game into the game when they can't even release the alpha on time. So I'm totally kidding, guys. It's unexpected. I mean, I'd kind of forgotten about it, but it's pretty damn sick, and I can't wait to play with it and limit test it in game. There are going to be a whole lot of good times with the go-kart track, in my community at least. So next they say, TAC has finished updating the details of the Eater pistol, which I'm sure plenty of you will recognize, and is now moving on to some of the other weapons. This pistol will be textured soon. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right, but again, pretty impressive with the model of this weapon. That's good to go with me. They then go on to show one last video where they say, speaking of guns, Hax has gotten the backer weapon, the R700, animated and into the game as well. Okay, so I honestly didn't know there was backer. I figured there would be something in the game for the backers. I guess with all the information we've gotten, I just forgotten about it, but that's pretty cool to see. There's going to be a lot of people running around with that when the closed alpha drops, for sure. I can just imagine all the people getting one shot in the head across the map with it. It's going to be great. So finally, they end off the content this update by saying, the Marquise map has gotten 2 more safe zones added to the map that players will be able to encounter NPCs and start tasks from. Okay, so I do have to say, again, It's extremely impressive that they're going to have tasks and NPCs at the drop of this game. Not even at the drop of early access. We're talking about closed alpha. I can't think of another game that's done that. It's a small detail, but it makes all the difference in the actual gameplay experience that you're able to get. So again, good job to the devs on that. So the first one of these safe zones is Duke Cartledge's radio station safe house. And the second one is the Dominion storage facility, where survivors from all over Alberta were able to come together and take shelter during the outbreak. They also say that traders and tasks can be found in these areas at tables such as this. And then they show some pictures inside the storage rooms and say that people have actually turned them into makeshift apartments to provide them with safety during the outbreak. So that's all the information we have for this update. There was a lot to cover in this one, and I was very impressed with the quality and crispness of the systems, buildings, and items that we were shown with this update. Alright, ladies and gents, so if you're looking for a good Dead Matter community to check out, I would recommend Cataclysm or the Deadly Dark community. I am in both of these. They're full of nice people. There's nothing offensive or unprofessional that goes on in them. I wouldn't recommend it otherwise. So I'm going to link both of their Discord channels down below. Go and check them out. It doesn't matter where you're from. Many of them are European, but there are a few from the US, such as myself. If you're looking for a more serious clan being formed for Dead Matter and you're from Europe, I would recommend the DDRM group. I will also link their Discord down in the description. Alright, ladies and gents, that's going to be all from me for this one. If you liked this video, make sure and drop a like. Go leave a comment and let me know what you think about this info drop. If you'd like to stay updated on Dead Matter as well as other great tactical and survival games, subscribe and feel free to drop off in my official Discord server. We have a good community going right now and we are doing great things. Alright, ladies and gents, I'm out.